I'm seeing this for the first time. This is October 14th, 1920. Ransom Walter passes away. Prominent old soldier of Jasper succumbs last Sunday morning at age of 80 years. Another old soldier has heard the last bugle call at 11:15 Sunday morning at his home on 2nd Street. Ransom Walter, aged 79 years and 11 months, answered to taps and passed over to join his comrades who have gone before. Death was due to diabetes and the infirmities of old age. Funeral services were held Wednesday afternoon. Reverend E.N. Prentice of the Presbyterian Church of Pipestone conducted short services in the home and later preached an able sermon at the Presbyterian Church. The services were conducted by the members of the St. Elmo Lodge, AF and AM, of which the deceased was a member. A large concourse of lodge members and friends followed the remains to the cemetery where the Masonic burial service were conducted. Following these services, a short service was conducted by members of the Simon Mix Post of the Grand Army of the Republic, of which the descendant was a member. Mr. Walter was an old and honored citizen of Jasper. His ideals of life were the highest, and he discharged every duty assigned to him in home business or social life with loyalty and honor. He was always kind and generous to his fellow men. The community is better for his having lived in it, and regret of his passing is widely spread and sincere. A splendid citizen has gone to his reward. Ransom Walter was born November 22, 1840, in the town of Nanticoke, Broome County, New York. He was of English descent, his ancestors having come to Massachusetts in colonial times. 3 of his great-grandfathers, Morse, Hodges, and Walter, served in the Revolutionary War. 2 of them were still living when he was a boy. His ancestry was a race of long-lived people. Ooh. Let's see. Whether something. His father was William Walter. Sorry about this. And his mother, Frances Lull. In 1846, the family moved to Ulster, Bradford County, Pennsylvania, and remained there 7 years. They moved west to Iowa, near DeWitt, Clinton County, when Ransom was 13 years of age, remaining there 1 year. Then moved to Big Spring, Fillmore County, Minnesota. He worked at home until 21 years of age. When the call for troops came in 1862, Ransom Walter enlisted in Company E, 7th Minnesota Volunteer Infantry. He was promoted to a corporal and served his country as a soldier for 3 years, first going west with General Sibley on the Indian expedition, then south with General Thomas, and was 15 engagements, among which there were battles of Tupelo, Nashville, and the siege of Spanish Fort. At the close of the war, he was honorably discharged. Mr. Walter then bought a farm, quarried rock, and built a stone house, and on December 24, 1867, married Rebecca Stahl. In 1876, they came west to Highland Township, Minnehaha County, South Dakota Territory, and were among the early homesteaders of the locality. In 1893, they moved to Jasper. Mrs. Walter passed away 7 years ago. Their family was 3 daughters, Mrs. Hattie M. Rolfe of Corvallis, Oregon, Mrs. Adie Park of Jasper, and Mrs. Fanny Eng, who died in July 1911. Mr. Walter had 10 grandchildren. He is survived by an older brother, William J. Walter of Lodgepole, South Dakota, a younger brother, Horace Walter of Conde, South Dakota, and a sister, Mrs. A. C. Barnes of Wapato, Washington, and A.M. Mr. Walter has held many public offices, having been president of the Village Council of Jasper for several years. He was a member of Simon Mix Post, GAR of Pipestone, and a member of St. Elmo Lodge, AF. Those attending the funeral from a distance were Mr. and Mrs. Edward Eng of Gary, SD Horace Walter of Condie, SD, and several friends of Mr. Walter from Laverne and Pipestone. We wish to express our heartfelt thanks to our many friends for their kindness and assistance in our hours of trouble. A.D. Parker, Horace Walter, Edward Eng, and Sons.